please join me in the pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming tonight. More than normal. Would you please call the roll there, Reese?
Councilmember Vaughn.
Here.
Councilmember Brown.
Here.
Mayor Hogue.
Here.
Councilmember McMillan.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Walsh. Here.
Hey, we have part of our agenda is public participation. If you want to speak on something other than what's on the agenda, you can, more than welcome. I have a card from Mr. Keith Notary.
Yes.
Welcome to the mic. Yeah.
I'm up first. Great.
Number one.
Keith Notary, 690 Timuquana Drive, Merritt Island, Florida. Talking as a landowner, building owner on A1A, 7090 North Atlantic Avenue. And I was just wondering, I guess the last 3 years there's been a new code for the signage along A1A to conform to under 20 feet in a square pylon. There's no more round poles. And it's supposed to, the code is supposed to go into enforcement on the end of September or thereabouts. I was wondering if there's any way to change your all's mind about switching over to that. I know, just Flamingos, the restaurant, Radisson, all those guys are gonna, there's at least 10 businesses on the west side of A1A in the city of Cape Canaveral that are gonna need to change their signs. Radisson, Racetrack, all of us. So we were just wondering how married you are to having to switch over to square poles as opposed to round poles. And I might also add, all you guys are incompliant either, because all of your stoplight poles, they're all round too.
Oh, yeah, but those, they have to be that way.
Well, that's what I'm saying about my sign too, because aerodynamically, it's better to have a round pole in a hurricane than a square pole. I mean, I could go on and on about, why.
We
And
are here
also,
to discuss the ordinance. There's certain things that are apply and certain things that don't. We understand your plight. We can't take any action on that here tonight. We listened to your plight and there's things that are being worked on in that ordinance at this present moment, but we don't discuss it. But we can listen to what you say and the council can.
All right, well, the only reason I'm here is code enforcement. It wanted me to raise my hand here, that this was the place to do it, so I've done it. And you guys are already working on it, so that's awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, let me be sure we're clear on what that means. There was a schedule, this went through the Planning and Zoning Board, and there were numerous meetings discussing the sign code changes that were proposed. The City Council has passed an ordinance that requires that those poles to be compliant by, I think, middle of September 13th or 15th, whatever it is, of 2016. We've consistently provided notice to the business community about that. In recent months, we've asked code enforcement. If you look at our weekly update, you'll see probably just about every weekly update mentions that requirement. And additionally, we've sent letters to the businesses that have business tax receipts, and we've tried to get the word out. And the expectation based upon the code is that you need to come into compliance. I think you need to talk to the Community Development Department about that and be sure what you need to do to come into compliance. But at the end of the day, that ordinance remains in effect.
Okay, like I said, they sent me here to talk to the county commissioners, and
Okay, well, they should not have sent you, they should have explained to you what the code requires you to do. And the code is yet to be changed.
yes, sir, I fully understand that. And I also know the code And as of a month ago, there was only one guy, Mr. Keenan, across the street from me, who's even put in application to change his signs. So-
That, he has been granted a permit by the city to make his sign, and I believe I'm stating this correctly, to bring his sign into compliance with the code in advance of the middle of September deadline date. So from the city's point of view, no matter what you're hearing out on the block, Keenan is bringing his sign into compliance with the code, making the changes that the code requires, and he has been granted a permit to do so. Is that correct? Yes.
I think just more to my point is, I haven't put in the paperwork for a permit, and he's the only one that I heard that had. And I know just by casual observation that there's at least 10, if not 20 of us that need
Yes.
to get on the stake card.
Yeah, and
Like I said, I talked to Mr. Dickey, and he sent me here to talk to you guys, so.
he's shaking his head no back there for some reason. Maybe he's just got a twitch in his neck.
Dave, you know that, what you wanted me to do?
Want me to come up?
And by the way, there is 3 minutes for this.
Yeah, Dave Dickey, Community Development Director. Yeah, we've been working very, very closely, or trying to work very, very closely with all of our business, with the business community. We've been, as Mr. Green indicated, we've sent out a number of flyers, letters. We've actually followed up with personal visits by our code enforcement officers. They've identified those signs that are not compliant with the new requirements that do come into effect September 16th of this year. We've identified there's about 40 signs throughout the city, not just on A1A, but North Atlantic, Center Street, Central, that are going to need to be addressed. So we've been working very carefully and trying to work very closely with these folks. And yeah, we didn't want to get to this date today and some people say, oh, I hadn't heard about that. That was certainly not the plan, and we've been working very diligently so that does not happen. Yes, and with respect to Keith, I did go out and meet with Keith, I don't know, about a month ago maybe.
Yep.
And Keith and I have been working on a code enforcement opportunity that we've been dealing with, and Keith brought up this issue, and we talked about that, and I said the council was going to be discussing this at a council meeting. I don't know if I specifically said what council meeting was going to be at,
Was that in the context of the Pinsiak-Keenan issue?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let me be clear. There was no hint of suggestion by you that we were going to change the code.
Oh, no.
Okay, I just want to get it,
Not at all.
because somehow I need to be sure we're on the proper page.
Yeah. No. And that's why we've been working very diligently to get the word out, because our intent is, come September 16th, to work even closer with our business community to make sure that those standards are enforced and in play.
And I think, as I understand, we have an ongoing code issue with the property over the fencing
Yes,
and the growth on it.
yes,
We are not certain that meets the code
that's correct. Our code board has actually taken a position on that
and found it not in compliance.
currently.
Okay, just want to be sure we all understand where we are at this moment.
Okay,
Thank you.
we can't take any action on anything tonight on this. This is not an agenda item. Okay, we move on, and I think we'll let him talk. We just
Yeah.
move on to our consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, would you, I
Oh,
believe,
I'm
have
sorry, we got
an
an
interview
interview.
of
I got an interview.
Mr. Franks, and we're looking forward to working with him if the council should choose to appoint him.
I'm sorry.
We hear only great things about Mr. Franks.
Yeah, welcome. I've seen you before.
Yes, we have. Any questions?
Mr. Franks is, our attorney here, you would like to.
I have one formality question I need to ask you. Is all the information in your application is true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
And please explain to the city council why you would like to serve on the planning and zoning board.
Well, I had some experience doing the same thing in the city of Oviedo when I lived there 5 years ago. And I found great satisfaction to trying to push some of my experience in real estate over 40 years in various aspects, condominium conversions, real estate appraising, and brokerage. I also taught for 10 years in a preparatory school as well as a community college teaching real estate brokerage and appraising. So I have some skills here I think that the city could utilize, and I'd be happy to share them with you.
Okay.
No, I want to thank you for volunteering to be on one of our boards. Your background is phenomenal. I did see here that you were on the Board of Adjustments and the Land Planning Board for the city of Lynn.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to the great ideas you can bring to our city.
Great.
And how long have you been here in our city?
It'll be 5 years in October.
5 years. And have you seen a lot of change in our city in the last 5 years?
Not enough.
I'm working hard.
David.
I'm sure that they're going to ask you some additional questions that I probably have, so I'm going to put that.
Thank you, like she says, thank you very much for stepping up and offering to serve. You know, most of us, I think, have been on a board at one time or another. I was on the Board of Adjustment, the chair for 3 years, but I'm a real estate broker, so I understand your business a lot, and I think you have, I'm reading your resume here, and it's absolutely amazing, and so I've got no problem. I would vote for you. And the other thing I noticed on here is that you're familiar with giving bikes away for Christmas, and Commander over there might need to use you to help them out at Christmas time as well.
Well, we started that's charity, my wife and I, with 12 bikes, 17 Christmases. This will be our 17th Christmas. We started out with 12 bikes, and last year we gave away 509 brand new bikes.
Wow.
So our total to date is about 4,800 bikes, and this year we'll certainly go over the 5,000 mark.
Now I know he wants to talk to you. So, and thank you very much.
Well, nice meeting you, Mr. Franks. I'm a neighbor of yours. I live in Bayport.
I saw that, yes.
And you know that area is in some kind of plans for the city. What is your take on right next door to you, possibly a new hotel and that assisted living? What do you feel about these?
Well, the new hotel, it's a better use than the current use, and we'll bring in ratables. I'm excited about the one with the nursing home, because it's going to bring a great deal of ratables and not require much service, because there won't be any children there, and that's a big part of your budget is school board. I know that the county takes care of it here, unlike in New Jersey where each city takes care of their own schools. But nevertheless, when you have children, they have to be educated, and that won't be an issue there. So I'm excited about both of them.
Thank you.
I believe I was at your initial interview when you were at the Queen's evening. I don't have any other questions. This is your second time, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Not before the city council, but I was
Right,
before the
right.
planning board.
Yeah,
yes.
this is your planning board
Yes.
interview, so no further questions. Thank you for offering.
You're welcome.
That's it.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Welcome back, and
Thank you.
good luck. Thank you, sir. All right. Then we can move on to the consent item, which will be in there.
Mr.
Okay.
Mayor, members
Yes, sir.
of the council, if I may clarify a few items. Council may recall that initially we moved forward with the resolution supporting the county. Our agenda cutoff, meaning on last Tuesday, a week ago from today, we had to have the agenda to the city council. So at that particular point in time, that was before the county took the final action at least the initial final action, Jim, dealing with the lagoon issue. And so we, at that point, since then, staff is asking the council to withdraw the resolution number 2016-15 and substitute in its place on the consent agenda approving interlocal agreement between Brevard County and the city of Cape Canaveral, Florida, implementing the Save Our Lagoon project plan. Staff has presented a detailed staff report. We've been working with county staff on this, and the crux of where we are, because of the funding source that the county wants to use, subject to voter approval, and the unique situation about this particular project, there's a statutory requirement normally to share the revenues from the sales tax with the municipalities in the county, subject to local or interlocal agreement. In this particular case, the city is being asked to the city is part of the percentage necessary so that that requirement would not kick into effect, and that we can trust our brothers and sisters at the county and other agencies to implement the plan that they have developed. And so what we would say is, from the staff perspective, we want to withdraw the resolution, substitute the agenda item that you received yesterday or last night, and approve as council, and that would read approve I'm a tongue-tied. Approve interlocal agreement between Brevard County and the city of Cape Canaveral, Florida, implementing the Save Our Lagoon project plan. And the interlocal agreement and other information is contained. So if we can get council comfortable with that, then it would be appropriate for the council to move forward with considering the consent agenda items and any that the council would wish to withdraw.
Okay. Before we move forward, would you like to?
I'm okay with it.
Like
Do we need a motion?
We'll motion second. we vote.
Okay, I make a motion to amend the agenda item, removing the, removing the resolution and substituting the agenda item for the interlocal agreement as described by our city manager, David Green.
Second.
I'm just going with that.
Gosh, I got it right.
We have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Walsh and seconded by Councilmember Bond to remove resolution 216-15 from the consent agenda, and in its place put in the approval for the interlocal agreement with Brevard County for the place of the Indian River Lagoon. Your call the roll, please.
Councilmember Bond,
4.
Councilmember Brown,
4.
Mayor Hogue,
Or,
Councilmember McMillan,
4.
Mayor Pro Tem Walsh.
4.
well, we can move forward on the consent agenda. Do we have anybody that would like to remove anything from the consent agenda?
I would like to pull number 4 for discussion.
We just did that. You want to hold it? Or just-
Oh, I mean, I would still like to, are we
You want
You-
not going to discuss this at all?
No, I'm just saying,
You,
you want to discuss what we put in to do?
you,
Oh,
yeah, you don't have to.
So are we not, okay, so maybe I'm confused. Are we not voting on whether we're going to?
we took the resolution out
support-
completely and
Okay.
just put in.
Yeah, the resolution goes away, and then what is substituted in its place is the approve the interlocal agreement.
Okay, all right.
Okay, great, thank you.
And then,
You want to leave 4 on or pull it off?
no, let's go ahead and leave it on, and just maybe Commissioner Barfield can.
He has that covered over here.
He's gonna get it out.
Yeah, and John, the way this is
And that's fine.
massaged at this particular point is, assuming the city council votes yes on the consent agenda, we will achieve what Chairman Barfield wants us to do, and then he will probably want to step up and hug you and give you a big time thank you. Probably for being the first city in the county that it has honored the county's request in moving forward with the interlocal agreement. How close am I?
Pretty close.
All right. Gee, it's nice when the city manager is honorable and tells the truth, isn't it? Shucks.
Okay. Anybody else got anything they wanna, Liz, or question? Anybody in the public, do you have anything you wanna talk about on this agenda? Nothing? Okay, we'll go for a motion to approve the
So
agenda
moved.
items 1 through 9.
So moved.
Are we, we're not pulling forward? You're not pulling forward?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, second.
Okay, we have approval for the consent agenda items 1 through 9 with the change noted for the resolution and the integral provision.
Councilmember Bond,
4.
Councilmember Brown,
4.
Mayor Hogue,
4.
Councilmember McMillan,
4.
Mayor Pro Tem Walsh.
4.
Okay, I was confused on that. Mr. Barfield, would you like to step up and give everybody a big hug?
And jokingly, just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Although we're a very small percentage of what you need, we're glad to contribute.
Welcome, Joe. How you doing?
And remember us with projects, please, Joe.
Absolutely. First, thank you very much.
Yep.
As you know.
Hold on just a second, Mr. I'm pretty sure you don't, but this is Mr. Barfield, our representative of District 2 from the County Commission, Jim Barfield.
And he is chairperson, chairman as well.
For about 89 days, 4 hours, and 30 minutes.
Yes, and that too shall pass, right?
Really, Mr. Mayor, councilman, councilwoman, city manager, city attorney, on behalf of the county, we want to thank you for doing this. Thank you for supporting us on this. This is much more than a city or the county. It's all of us as individuals in this county. We have got to take the lead and fix the Indian River Lagoon. We cannot depend on Amendment 1 money. We cannot depend on federal dollars. It really comes down to us. And we have to do this. And it's this now or never. And I want you to know a lot of efforts going into this. When the fish kill happened in March, you know I'm a lifelong resident here, grew up on the Indian River in Rockledge, and we had to do something. And anything we want to do takes money, and we cannot depend on others. So we control our own destiny. So what we're looking at now, we're at a half-cent sales tax will go in referendum. I'm pretty confident of that. We'll let you, me, and all the voters make a decision on what we're going to do. That's the best thing to do. And assuming that passes, that will free up about $34 million a year, maybe $340 million over 10 years. But the most important thing is that money can be used to match funds with Amendment 1 dollars, other state funds, federal grants, and we can leverage it. When we take the lead, we have 71% of the Indian River Lagoon is in our county, area-wise. So we take this lead, it shows, number one, we have skin in the game. But I think the most important thing it tells to everyone is the fact that, say this passes with 75% of the voters, which is realistic because 74% voted for Amendment 1. Say 75% of the voters in this county say, hey, we want to tax ourselves because the Indian River Lagoon means that much to us, we want to fix it. What is the message that gives to Tallahassee, and what is the message that gives to Washington, D.C.? It's the fact that, hey, these people are passionate about their lagoon, they want to fix it, and we better step in and help. So it's a much bigger picture, and I have to tell you, Cape Canaveral, I have the easiest and the best district there is, District 2. And I really believe that. But it means a lot, and your citizens in your city should be proud of y'all for doing this, and I think we'll all work together, continue to work together, and we have a tremendous plan on this, and once this gets through, we're ready to get going, and we're gonna fix the lagoon. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Barfield. Thank you. We go to reports. Start down with the next part.
No report.
None from me. I know when to be quiet.
Start down on the end there with Mr. McMillan and come up this way.
Just a couple things. Josh broke ground on the community garden so far. Thank you very much, Josh. That's exciting. Anybody know any gardeners that are interested? This is gonna be hopefully a grassroots, pun intended, to get this whole thing started. It's being done, to my understanding, with some seed money and some grant funds, so no taxpayer.
Seed money,
Oh, that's right, yeah, that's right. Okay, I can keep going, but I won't. I attended a solar luncheon as well, which was very interesting. That's still up on my agenda. I'd like to increase it. I don't know many people in FPL, but if we get our solar or any other renewables up from 2% within our area with FPL, that would be awesome. And we have the amendment coming up as well. And thank you, Commissioner Barfield, for coming this evening. Appreciate that. And I'm happy to see that we're our first time video of the meeting here, which is another thing that we're trying to push for to get through. So, because as a lot of people know, 70% of communication is visual rather than audible. So this, I think, should be super helpful. Other than that, no.
Thank you. Mike?
Okay. I attended the meeting for the Indian River Lagoon on, I think it was August 9th. Represented the city of Cape Canaveral. And one of the concerns, Mr. Barfield, was this money raised. How sure, can I go back and tell the citizens how sure that the money spent is going to be spent like it's supposed to be?
Mike, want to stay there?
That's a good question. That came up a lot. What we put into this is there will be an oversight committee. That oversight committee will consist of 7 individuals. 3 of them will come from the League of Cities of Macon, 4 from the county. These are not political people. These are scientific people in each area of science that affects the Indian River Lagoon. Now, we'll have a project. We already have a list of projects and everything lined out. Any changes will go through this oversight committee. They will look, and new stuff that comes in from different cities, and they come in to have a prioritizing method, prioritize them, and they'll put them in send them to us to put in the plan. Each one has to be approved by the county commission. So this oversight committee will see everything that's going on. They will look at the performance measures that come out of this, how well we're performing on this, how well we're sticking to plans on this, and they'll bring it up to us. So we programmed that in. It's similar to the way it was done on the EELS project, which was a referendum, similar. And we really kind of copied some of that and added a little bit more scientific side to it. So that's how it'll be done. Any other questions?
Go ahead.
A couple more things. Next month, I fly out for Florida League of Cities. I will be representing the state of Florida and Brevard County, and I will express to our representatives the importance of the Indian River Lagoon and what we need to do.
Great to see Buzz here tonight, and Commissioner Barfield. And I do have 1 or 2 questions also. I know there's, and you may not be able to answer this as well, but is there any movement on Amendment 1 and getting it to the point where it is going to comply with the will of the people, or is that going to take a new Senate president and what's going on at the state? Do you know what's happening? Because and would part of that money go to this project if it did get broken loose?
I have no answer to that because that's the legislature. Well, I will tell you this: there is a lawsuit has been filed against Amendment because Amendment $1 were allegedly not being used the way they should be. But I do know this: I do know that the fact that we've got a total out of all the money since 2014, a piece of one of the dredging operations was funded by Amendment $1, $450,000. That's out of $700 million that are sitting there. $450,000 out of $700 million. $200 million now has been committed to the Everglades annually for cleanup, but we get $450,000. And so I've asked, and I think each one of us here needs to, every candidate running for a state house or a state senate, you need to get a commitment of where they stand on this.
I agree.
Because we're in a critical state here, and we're not getting what we need. Hopefully what's going to happen out of this, like I've said, we get this referendum through. We have skin in the game. We have voters that are truly dedicated. We have citizens who are dedicated. So I think with that leverage, I believe we're going to get much more money. And I'm in DC a lot too. And it's getting their attention. It's getting a lot of attention because other estuary programs too have not really ever, someone's taken a lead like that. So, but to answer your question, there's no promises at all.
Okay.
We could be waiting again. If we didn't do this, we could be waiting around another year and not getting money.
Are neighbors doing anything?
They're watching this right now. They actually have some referendums, or they have some funding sources, but they have a totally different issue than we do. Ours is all really from our own creation.
Oh, yeah.
In the south part,
but if the money exceeds, the revenue, tax revenue exceeds or greatly exceeds this number, or we get Amendment 1 money or whatever, and is there a mechanism that can kill this tax early?
no. And you can't do it that way, and because we have to have a sunset time on it.
Mm-hmm.
What will happen is the $300 million is really to get us to compliance with the nitrogen levels.
Mm-hmm.
It's the minimum that we can make an impact with.
And not to stick my nose in, but this may be an important point. And I would suspect that the county will leverage this and do some borrowing. And so from a lender, you know, a bond issue point of view, they would be pledging the half-cent sales tax toward. It shows hopefully positive community support for taxing themselves to address this. And all of those kinds of things weigh nicely when you're asking for a grant, because those are the typical questions. And so from that perspective, I would say the county's doing everything by the book that it should be doing to create its best case futuristically for financing and accomplishing these. Yes, there will be numbers variance, that's gonna happen to all of us whether we buy a car or anything else. It's changing constantly. But I think from a business point of view, they're doing it by the book to get the most credibility that they can have from the bond market as well as the funding agencies. And so it's easier to sit in Washington or Tallahassee and say, look, they're doing $340 million worth of self-help here. We ought to be able to contribute, you know, I'm just gonna say, I'd like to say, we ought to be willing to contribute $500 million to it.
It's a remarkable plan considering how fast it was put together, and
That's the staff at the county, Virginia Barker and her staff is amazing.
And the maritime consultants, Tetra Tech, I've used them and I've engaged them in the past, and I like those people. They're very honorable and they're very knowledgeable. So absolutely. And so I don't go out and tell people that whether they should vote for this or not vote for this, but I would just tell them to read the plan carefully but that it does involve all of us.
And if any questions, ask them.
Okay.
It'll be cleared up.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Is the State Water Lagoon project plan that we got, is this actually on the county website?
Yes, it is.
And do we have a link to it on our website?
We've provided the council a link to it.
Yes.
You actually, in the material that you got today, has the entire county plan in printed form. So, and I don't know if it's actually on our website at this point.
It is, it's under news.
Okay, great.
So-
That's why if we had a link on ours to get to theirs, because this is a really,
Yeah.
for the residents here in our city, to go through this really is a nice summary, and it answers a lot of the questions and things that were just talked about, so.
All of that is available then on our website in addition to as part of the meeting agenda, and now it's gonna be video too.
Yeah.
Good. Of course, I knew it was gonna be video, that's why I showed up.
Wow. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming.
All right, thanks for having me.
Yes.
Thank
I also
you.
wanted to mention the community garden. For those of you that don't know where it's located, it's actually at Patriots Park, which is between Long Point and Columbia Drive, if you know where that is. So it is a nice new endeavor here for the city, and thank you, Joshua, for getting that going. So anyone interested, that's where it's located, you go peek at it. And we had a tech talk last night, and I was wondering how that went. Did we have a lot of folks here? Anyone know?
Yeah, we had 8 people last night.
Tell them.
Something new that we're doing, we had one last month, and we had one this month, correct?
This is actually the 4th one.
Oh, the fourth
Yeah.
one.
First of all, Josh, before you start, you might want to explain what we're doing, what Tech Talk. and
All right,
what
so
we started.
Joshua Supernaut, Community Engagement Director, Interim
Oh,
Public Works
Josh,
Services Director.
I'm sorry, can we start with who you are?
Joshua Supernaut, Community Engagement Director and Interim Public Works Services Director.
Enough, yeah.
So, the Tech Talk is open to anybody, all ages, residents, visitors, friends of visitors, anybody in town that's having trouble with mobile devices or tablets or the internet. Just come with your questions. So we've had everything from, this is fun, what's Pokemon Go, to how do I use Google, to what is Google, to what is Wi-Fi, how do I turn my phone on? We get that one a lot. How do I turn my phone off? How do I make a call? How do I put credit on my phone? So we're doing all these technology initiatives. We're rebuilding the website. We got a community calendar, but we don't have residents that can find it or visit it. So I'm trying to bridge that gap with, if you can't get the information we're putting out, just come to Tech Talk. So last night we had 8 people. We had 4, Bob's not in here. We had 4 of the repeats. I'm calling them repeats, where we build each time. They come each time, we build on, first we turn the phone on, now we turn the phone off, and now we turn it on to Wi-Fi. And it's a lot of fun. A lot of people came last night. It is, it's
I
a
enjoyed
blast.
it, that was a lot of fun.
It's the fastest 2 hours like I've ever experienced. It's great. Last night was about 7:30 and we were still in here. So we have until 8, and we leave it with we have a projector. Gustavo kind of donates his Culture and Leisure Services projector, and we project up on the wall. So I plug my iPad in. So we have like a crash course in how to use Uber and how to use Google Drive. And we have a lot of inspiring people that come in with all these ideas, but they've got over that hurdle of I was embarrassed to talk about it, or I was embarrassed to ask somebody. So it's a lot of fun to see that click. So that was a blast. So if you guys can come, just come make an appearance. It's a good time.
And not,
I wanted to try to help get the word out on that too.
I appreciate it. It's on the website.
Yep, it is.
And they're all scheduled, and there's also a computer ABC class, but that one is booked until January.
and not everyone has, now, I have a 9-year-old grandson and I ask him, and generally speaking, he can
Do anything.
help Gramps do it.
Well, they had that a lot. Last night, somebody's like, my granddaughter bought me this smartwatch. I have no idea how to use it. So like, they're wearing it, but it doesn't do anything. So we helped them connect to it. We have a little bit of everything. Some of it's easy, some of it's hard, some of it we have to Google. Yeah, Brenda helps me, so some of it we actually have to Google, but you leave with the answers that you came,
And
questions.
it seems like we're getting more and more interest.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Awesome.
Well, more and more people are talking about it, and that, so every time more people
So maybe
come.
some people in here will come to the next one.
I've been learning things too, like, I've never used a smartwatch. It's kind of a way for me to try new technology also, so.
I'd offer my help, but I was trained in COBOL, which we know what that's worth now.
Showing your age, Joe. If you guys are interested, I could teach you Python, I could teach you HTML, 3, 4, 7. I could teach you guys some exciting things, if we get to that level. But last night it was, what's the difference between Yahoo and Gmail, so.
Oh, okay.
And then, can I start up a Gmail with my email at yahoo@gmail? But it's a lot of fun, it really is. We laugh about it, and that's what it is. It's laughing about it and not being afraid to mess up, because it's a computer, and I can't break it. So, it's a lot of fun. Is that it? You good?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Just wanted to- I wanted to
Thanks,
mention
Josh.
it, sorry about that. And I also have to ask the question, because I was actually asked by a couple people about the recording. We were being recorded, and this will be on our website also, right?
Yes,
Okay.
YouTube and the website. Yeah.
Short version, we're continuing to amp up our, I guess we'll say, transparency in our communication tools in our toolbox to make more and more and more available. And playfully, I'm tired of hearing it from Brendan. In a positive, respectful way, I might add.
You got all the grease this time, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it?
That's it,
Done?
thanks.
All right, I don't have much to say other than, we're doing a lot in the city. If y'all notice, the new city hall building, the ballpark infiltration system will capture some 40 acres of stormwater. We're doing a lot of infrastructure changes as far as the wastewater treatment plant, sewer lift stations. We're doing a lot of things.
Atlantic Avenue.
And
And to give the county credit, where our North Atlantic Streetscape project is using allocated county transportation impact fee dollars, and we've had a very good relationship with county staff on that. Because as you know, projects don't always start and finish when one would expect them to, yeah. So all that's good, and I think it was, in round numbers, about $900,000 of the funding for that project. And so just another one bites the dust, so to speak.
we're just very busy for a small town. So, anybody has anything that they would like to implement, or they got an idea, just we'll talk to the right director, or call me, we'll get it rolling. I don't have anything to report I will be out of town for 4 days. I'm going to Miami for a conference for 4 days, so. Mr. Brown, you're?
Yes, I'm going also, leaving Thursday morning.
Anybody else? No, nobody? No? Okay. I'll be just leaving early in the morning. We're gonna be down there around 10:30 or so I'll be rolling out. That's all I got. Meeting adjourned unless somebody's got something.